Hello there, everyone, and this is going to be episode 20, which is a big number because we finally made it to the 20s. That's pretty neat. We made it pretty far here in the series because, episode 20, and, but I repeat myself big time, actually. But yes, in this one, we are going to be doing the drill on the rover normally versus the drill on the crane. Yeah, the crane, which obviously also goes on the rover. And I kind of just want to compare those because somebody wanted me to do a video over the crane, right? And for me, it's like the most interesting thing I could do there is sort of compare it to the normal rover when it comes to drilling. I know you can put like the winch on the crane and stuff, but I don't know how useful that really would be. So I feel like the most interesting thing we could do about the crane is just compare how good it is at gathering soil to just the normal rover when we're driving, right? Which pretty sure the normal rover driving is way faster unless they've changed something, but I wouldn't know if they did change something. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to unlock the crane here. We're going to put it on our rover, and we're just going to see how fast we can gather soil. And then we're going to do it with the normal one. And so the way I'm going to do that, I'll get into more detail about actually after I craft this thing. Anyways, costing a silicone, a steel, and a titanium makes this thing less than cheap. But thankfully, our auto sorter over here is actually doing fairly well. I didn't think it would do too great because it was kind of lackluster, if I'm being honest with myself, the way I designed it. Wish I could have done better, but as you all know, I spent a lot of time instead of quite late for that one. And since my IQ is probably below room temperature, I wasn't really able to make it any better, but it's still pretty good because we got a good amount of a lot of even the more expensive stuff. And so we can just grab the titanium we're going to need right here. That's done. Then the steel, we're going to need 1 iron and 1 carbon, which I made a part of our Get Everything factory. So we're turning scrap into organic and carbon, which is stupid, but convenient. So that's what we did. You should have used the tapper for that, though, but I just, I don't really fire on all cylinders. It's not my thing. But yeah, that's what we need for the steel, and, obviously the titanium, we just get it. And then we need silicone as well, which, if I remember correctly, is going to be quartz and resin, but it's actually kind of expensive, silicone, because maybe if I didn't pick up that whole thing, that'd be nice. But silicone's actually kind of expensive, even though it's just resin and quartz, because we also need methane, but we have methane, so no big deal. And also we have the argon we are going to need for the steel. So it's going to be an easy craft. The main part of this video, basically all this video, is going to be me actually just testing them side by side. I know this is a very weird, like, Let's Play series. It's kind of like tutorials almost in a sequence, but I don't think that's a bad thing because, I mean, at this point I have like 1,000 hours, so, like, I have 1,000 hours in this game. Kind of the only thing I can do is just say, like, hey, this is what I like to do sometimes. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing. But, yeah, just like that, and I'm pretty sure we'll probably find it here. If I had to guess, it's going to be in the large printer, but I'm never right, so it's not in the large printer. It's going to be in the medium printer. And so, the last time I tested this was a very long time ago. It was back when they first added in drilling on the front of rovers, right? It was a long time ago, back when they added the paver and stuff to the game. And back then, the drill was, if I remember correctly, the drill on the crane was quite a bit slower at gathering soil than the drill on the front of the rover. But if it's not, it would be a better route to go because it's a lot easier to contain the damage it does, right? Which, because used to, this was the only way to drill soil. And back then, it was actually slower than the Widen Boost mod, but it was still better than the Widen Boost mod because you could store so much more soil on your rover. And so that would still be the case. Like, the Widen Boost mod is great, but then your backpack gets filled up with soil in like 2 seconds. And you don't want to have to manage that manually, so it's actually just better to have a crane with a bunch of soil. Very weird. You're like mining slower, but you get more storage, so it's still technically worth it. At least in my opinion, that's how that was. But then when they added drilling to the front of the rover, that became by far the best. And so now we're going to see if that's still the case, because like I said, I have not done this in so long. And obviously the rover we have for drilling over at the other base, if you've been watching this series, doesn't have as much storage, and I just don't want to drill a bunch of my home planet. I kind of just use that to go to the core of the planet so we can get Astroneer. So we're going to be taking this to Atrox, right? We're going to go to Atrox with this and test it there because that's where our main rover with soil is. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so apparently I just destroyed this thing. Oh, never mind. It's over there. Okay, so that's good because actually, why did this stop? What? Nothing ever goes my way. So this is supposed to be always crafting. Oh, everything's just, this is just my favorite day of the year. Okay, there we go. No earthly idea why they went so awry, but we're just going to leave that be. That should be making scrap automatically, and instead it's done nothing while we were away. I guess the printer got destroyed, and I forgot to set it back to automatically craft canisters. But we're just going to do one of these, right? Because I want this one to be like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I kind of want to just do one each. No, I'll do two. I'll do two, because I want this video to be a little, we want like more testing. More testing. More testing's good. More testing's more accurate. Which means I'm going to have to craft more. Oddly enough, the problem in this video is going to be that we have too much soil, right? Because once I fill these up, I can't use them until they're empty, and I'm certainly not going to wait until they're completely empty. So what I'm going to have to do is actually craft more medium soil canisters whenever these get full so that I can just have a ton of those, which means I'm going to have a ton of extra scrap, so I'm not going to complain. All right, I've got everything crafted here we need. I actually crafted a little too... Oh, these are medium resource canisters. Oh, I didn't even notice. Oh. Gosh, I needed soil canisters. You see, because that took a long time. I'm using one smelter instead of the... Alright, I got it this time. I did it, and I still made too many, even though I already knew about that mistake. Also, I know that the start of the video didn't have audio, so, well, like my voice did, but the game didn't, which was probably slightly off-putting. Just thought I'd let you know. I figured that out now, and it's fixed. I'm sure you know it's fixed, but also, I just thought you should know that I do know about that. So... that's a thing. But yes, in case I wasn't clear on this, what we're doing is we are going to do the normal drill first, because that's what we're accustomed to. We want to get a good understanding of how fast it's going to fill all these up. 24 soil canisters, 24 small soil canisters worth is how much one medium soil canister holds. So what I'm going to have to do is get out a calculator here, because I can't do math in my head, and do 24 times 8. And that means this trailer right here has 192 small soil canisters worth of soil, which is going to be 192 scrap when we convert it. So the fact that we're filling all these up twice is going to be basically that entire large resource canister full of scrap. So that's nice. This video is also useful. But yeah, we're going to go through the normal drill first, fill up every single one of these, then bring them back and, you know, start trying to convert them to some scrap. Then put the new ones on there and do it again with the crane, which will probably take a lot longer unless something has changed, as I said. But the way we're going to do this is obviously a time lapse, but also I'm going to put a timer on the time lapse that is a sped up timer, basically showing how much time has passed, because I want both the time lapses to be short, and since one of these is going to be slower than the other, one time lapse is going to be a different speed than the other time lapse. So the way you'll know how much time has actually passed is there's going to be a timer that's sped up with them, if that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, you'll see what I mean very soon. And so, yeah, we're just going to get started, actually, by doing this right now. All right, as you can see, that did not take very long. I mean, it wasn't exactly super fast or anything, but considering that we basically have half of a large resource canister's worth of scrap, is actually pretty awesome considering the time span there. And this is a very, very good way to get scrap, a very, very good way to get soil, as you can tell. And so next up is going to be testing the crane, of course, and I hope that ends up being pretty efficient, maybe even just as efficient. That would be quite neat, and if that's the case, that would be the better route to go, because you have more control over how much damage you do to the terrain and stuff with that. But my guess is going to be that it's going to be sort of similar to the way it was back. Well, I can't take it off. Oh, okay. That was weird. But yeah, my guess is going to be that it's going to be similar to the way it was back when I did it, you know. It's been years, though, so I may as well give it another shot right now. Something I would like to say first, though, is that, because I already know people are probably going to ask me about this. No, the wide mod does not, wide and boost mod do not work on this, or at least they didn't, you know, again, back when I did it, which was back, you know, when dinosaurs roamed the earth. It's been quite a while, really. I don't even think that it looked like this. I think they changed the model a little bit. So, no, the wide and boost mod did not work on it back then, but I will be trying that again, I guess, just in case. Alright, got all the new soil canisters on here, and somehow I was bad wrong about how many I needed. I crafted twice what I needed, so that's fun, especially since I did it twice, because I did these two, which I wasn't supposed to do. But yes, I'm going to go to a good spot for this, which to me would just mean like an area where we can kind of get underground, right? Which thankfully, due to us using the drill on the front of the Rover for so long, that's going to be very possible. All right, I think this kind of area right here, like this kind of ravine, it's so dark that you probably can't really see very well. I mean, I know you can't see very well because neither can I. And so we're going to get right up against the wall here and just sort of start going into the side. And before I start doing time lapses and stuff, I'm sort of going to try to get a feel for this, and also, like I said, test the wide boost mod. So let's get a feel for how fast this thing is normally. That might be faster than it used to be. That's really fast. So I don't know. It's hard to tell. But yeah, you can get a feel for the speed right now. It's a little dark, like I said, so I hope that's not going to be too much of an issue for how well you're able to see that. Now I'm going to take my widen boost mod and slam it on this thing, and I don't think it's going to do anything. Okay, here we go. And it doesn't even show up as green around it, right? It's green while it's on my terrain tool, but not while it's on here. So that to me is just all the proof we need. But just in case, we will end up testing it as well. And yeah, it's dark, real dark. So, but I think you can see that it's basically the same speed. And so, first things first, I'm going to try to figure out how to make it not so dark out here, right? So that you can actually see what I'm doing. And then after I figure that out, you'll see the time lapse, okay? So time lapse is next. Enjoy. Okay, so I have something you need to know about. I thought I pressed my record hotkey and I guess it just malfunctioned. So I did all this and it wasn't recording. And the reason that's upsetting is because, let me just tell you something, this was so much slower, right, than the front drill. That was like actually 45 minutes right there, and I didn't record it. So, oh, gosh, I don't know how to contend with it. So here's what I'm gonna do. Okay, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna put these to where they turn into scrap and stuff. Then I'm gonna come back here and I'm gonna time me filling up one single medium fluid canister, and then I'm going to extrapolate that to see how long it would take to fill up all 8, because I'm not doing that again. I did it for so long and it was off camera, but hey, you know, on the bright side, this thing was sitting here, right? And it's just got a nanocarbon alloy in it, so I guess we'll just take that. But as you can see, I made a pretty good chasm here. We started right there and went all the way to over here, and it took me so long because this thing's much slower than the other one. And that's the worst, man. It's been, like, it's not very often that I wind up not recording by mistake, and the one friggin' time it happens is, of course, in this instance right here, where I lose a great deal of my life and a great deal of joy from my life. I can watch that, and as you saw there, the first one ended up being 8 minutes and 18 seconds, but this last one, and you know, I'm not prepared actually, so of course I'm gonna have to go look at the math there. Okay, I filled up one soil canister, and it took 4 minutes and 6 seconds. And so, you know, 8 minutes, 18 seconds, that's basically 8 minutes. And then 33 minutes and 4 seconds, that's basically 32 minutes. You know what I mean? We're going to approximate a little bit here and say that the drill on the front of the Rover is 4 times faster than the crane. Really wish I could have gotten a more accurate number for the crane, but, you know, I did the right thing. It just didn't work, or at least I think I did. I'm pretty sure I pressed my record hotkey. It would be plain silly if I forgot to do such a thing. Yeah, I don't know. But look, you know, sometimes in life you just don't win because you lose.